everybody, welcome to Stories by Shelley. I see you've got a brand new story. If you love my channel, please subscribe and then you'll get notices of all the new stories that are loaded. This one is called Come On Tiger Tom by Gabriel Alborozo. Come on, Tiger Tom. One long, hot summer's day, Tiger Tom and his mum went out for a walk. Flick, 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 got you, said Tom, batting the end of his mum's tail. Come on, said Mum, laughing. That's enough of that. It's time to go fishing. I want you to watch, listen, and try your best. They soon reached the river, and after they had cooled their paws in the shimmering shallows, it was time for fishing practice. Wait for the fish, then swoop your paw. Like this, Mum whispered. And remember, keep very, very quiet. You need to catch a fish by surprise. Tom tried for a while, but he soon wanted to play with the fish rather than catch them, and his splashing got louder and louder. Come on, Tiger Mom, said Mum. That's enough of that. And off they went. They walked a little further and came to a gnarly old tree. Come up, up you come, said Mum, and remember, one paw at a time, and don't look down. Tom tried for a while, but soon he wanted to play with the birds perching on the tree branches rather than climb. And then he looked down. Oh dear, oh dear. I think he got scared. He got a fright with that height. Bump! He landed on the ground with a soft thud. Come on, Tiger Tom, said Mum, after checking her little cub was all right. That's enough of that for today. Tom and Mum walked on in the hot sun. At last they reached the shadowy cool of the forest edge, where golden leaves lay heaped in little piles. This will be fun, said Mum. We can practice your pouncing. Now watch. Crouch down low like this and keep as still as a statue. Then, pow! Out you come! Do you think he was good at pouncing? Tom tried, but he was quite good at this. He pounced on a red beetle, boom, and a row of marching ants. And then he pounced on a beautiful bright blue butterfly. The butterfly flitted and fluttered through the dappled light of the forest. Tom followed, entranced. Flitter, flutter, flit. They went until the butterfly fluttered behind a tree. Tom peeped around and then he looked up and down and behind it too. But the butterfly had gone. And Tom soon realized that he had walked deep into the forest. It was dark and chilly. He shivered. He turned around and around and around, but no matter where he looked, he couldn't see Mum. What has happened? Yes, Tom is lost. He was lost. Just as Tom thought he might begin to cry, he noticed a little chameleon scuttling speedily up a tree. Ah, he thought, if I climb up there, I'll be able to see Mum. So carefully, one paw at a time, he slowly climbed up the tree, and he didn't look down. Tom curled himself tightly around the high branch and edged his way out until he could see across the forest. He couldn't see Mum, but he could see the river. Tom scrambled quickly back down the tree trunk. If he could just get back to the river, he'd find his mum for sure. He trotted back through the trees, trying not to look at the pretty fireflies flickering in the twilight, or the lime green frogs hopping amongst the leaves. This time he kept straight on. By the time he reached the river, the sky had turned inky dark, and the moon shone on the water, silver and white. Tom still couldn't see his mum. And then he heard a noise. Tom was scared. Then he remembered what Mum had said, crouch down low and keep as still as a statue. So Tom tucked himself into a ball and got ready to pounce. The noise grew louder and the footsteps crunched closer and closer and closer towards him. And then, what do you think it could be? Tom, is that you? Called a familiar voice. And out pounced Tom. Pow! A roly-poly bundle of pure happiness into the great big hug with Mum. Phew, she said. The next morning, Tom woke up early. Come on, Mum, he said, flicking her tail gently to and fro. Time for fishing practice. And this time I'm going to do just like you told me. Tom and Mum set out to the river, and Tom watched, listened, and tried his best. Well, most of the time. Look at that. Hey? Did you enjoy Tom's story? Have you ever got lost before? What did you do? How did it make you feel? I hope you were able to find your mom and dad quickly. You must always stay close to your parents or your grown-ups. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the story. See you again soon. Bye-bye.